Tonight, I'll be sharing 5 true horror stories. Each one comes from real people who say these things actually happen to them. Some take place in quiet homes, others on dark roads or lonely nights. These stories might make you double-check your locks, or question the noises you hear after midnight. So sit back, turn the lights down, and listen closely, because you never know what could be watching you right now. Last Halloween, I was home alone, handing out candy. Around 9:30 p.m., the crowd had thinned, and I was ready to shut the door for the night. Then, one last knock came. 3 slow, deliberate taps. On my porch stood a kid in an old-fashioned clown mask, holding a faded pillowcase. Nothing strange, until he said, "Hi, Emma." I froze. I never told anyone my name, and my house was new to the neighborhood.
"Do I know you?" I asked.
You gave me candy last year.
Except I'd only moved here 2 months ago. I reached into the bowl to play along, but when I looked back up, the porch was empty. Just a damp pillowcase lying on the steps, and written on it, in marker, was my name. My roommate and I set up a motion sensor camera by the front door every Halloween, mostly to catch pranksters. The next morning, I checked the footage. From 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., nothing unusual. Kids, laughter, cars. But around 3:14 a.m., the motion sensor triggered again. On the screen, the porch light flickered, and a tall figure in a black hoodie stood completely still, facing the door, for over 7 minutes.
Then, as if noticing the camera, he leaned in close until his face filled the frame. His eyes were wide, and he whispered, "Nice decorations."
The police said no one was caught on the street cameras that night. The weirdest part? The voice. It sounded exactly like my roommate's, but she'd been out of state for the weekend. At our college Halloween party, everyone had to wear masks. Around midnight, I noticed a guy in a scarecrow costume standing perfectly still in the corner. Burlap mask, rope around the neck, straw poking out. Creepy but creative. Every time I looked, he seemed to face a different direction, though I never saw him move. When the party ended, the scarecrow was gone. The next morning, campus police sealed off the student center. They found an old farm mannequin wearing a real human jacket inside the supply closet, straw stuffed where arms should have been. No one ever found the student who wore that jacket to the party. Halloween night, 2019. I worked late at a small-town gas station. Around midnight, the phone rang. The screen said, "Unknown caller. Don't let the man in the mask inside. Who is this?" Not 5 minutes later, a guy wearing a cheap ghost mask walked up to the locked glass door. He just stood there, holding a plastic pumpkin bucket. When the lights flickered back on, he was gone, but the bucket sat by the door, full of candy I hadn't seen before. At the very top was a folded note. "Good job not letting me in." My friends dared me to go trick-or-treating at the last house on Pine Road, the one that's supposedly abandoned. The gate was open, and a single light glowed in the window. I knocked, expecting no answer.
"You're just in time."
Her hands were cold. Ice cold. When I turned to leave, I glanced back once more, and the house was dark, the porch covered in cobwebs. The next day, I went back with my friends. The place was boarded up, empty for years. Inside the mailbox was a single piece of candy, the same brand she'd given me, wrapped in a note that read, "Thanks for visiting. See you next Halloween."